Social media comments. Reddit reacts. Bill Murray confirmed to return for Ghostbusters 2020. Now they do it. All those years Raimi's was alive, and now, as RLM pointed out, that's Bill Murray's fault. Sony vs. Bill Murray is a fight that will go down in history. Context for those unaware: Murray had a long-standing feud with Harold Ramis after the production of Groundhog Day, which he didn't like the script of and was upset that people seemingly linked his success to Harold Ramis' writing abilities, since he wrote Meatballs, Caddyshack, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day. He wouldn't speak to him after Groundhog Day until 2014, when Harold Ramis was on his deathbed, and was pretty much the only person unwilling to do a Ghostbusters 3, until, of course, after Harold Ramis died. Edit, Groundhog's Day. Groundhog Day. I linked his success to Harold Ramis, but I also link Harold Ramis' success to Murray. Ramis wrote characters nobody but Bill Murray could make work. Just look at Dan Aykroyd trying to play Carl Spackler by a different name in Caddyshack 2. For me personally, the possibility of a great third film died when Ramis passed away. It's too late now for me. The video game is literally the story for the third movie. It was written for the movie, but that was never made. That's a myth. I have a good friend that worked at Terminal Reality. The story plot was 100% them. Aykroyd and Ramis did edits on the script, but that was additions, changes to the speaking lines while recording, not the plot. Aykroyd was really impressed how it tied GB2 closer to the original. Ramis, Aykroyd, and Hudson all got together to record their lines, but Murray refused and recorded his lines elsewhere and sent them, only doing about 1/3 of what was written for him. Hudson came in again to pick up essential lines that Murray chose not to do. So while they did all work on the project, their input is severely overstated. I thought Aykroyd said himself in an email that the game was essentially GB3. He does say that, and he did back in 2009 too. That doesn't mean he came up with the story. Yeah? Aykroyd's actual script for Ghostbusters 3 involved the team traveling to a parallel hell version of New York called Manhattan. But will Rick Moranis come out of retirement? Yeah, everyone talking about Bill Murray, and I'm all, where the fuck is Rick Moranis? I will be seriously disappointed if he doesn't make an appearance. His wife dying is why he retired. For the kids. Him making a couple small appearances over the last decade is raising my brow though. Maybe he'll come back. They should be grown by now. He should come back. He has said that while he retired because of his kids, he actually discovered he liked being retired. He has stated that he doesn't consider himself an actor but a comedian. His biggest roles, Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, he improvised a lot of his dialogue and had a lot of fun. But once he became a star, he hated it because he was being given stuff and he didn't have the same control anymore. So even once his kids grew up, he had no interest in returning full-time to acting. However, he has also said he isn't technically retired, and if he gets a script he likes, he'd happily do more acting. He apparently genuinely considered Ghostbusters 2016 but didn't like the proposal they gave him. He has to. As far as NYC is concerned, he saved the world by shooting at a door for 20 minutes. He did save the world. The positive emotions in the crowd inspired by his actions were vital to defeating Vigo. He may not have been inside the museum, but Louis earned the title of Ghostbuster that night. I never considered the good vibes thing. Wow. I was going to watch it soon anyways, as it's a Christmas movie lol, so now I have a whole new way of looking at it. I'm not expecting anything more than a cameo. But just as long as he plays Peter Venkman, and doesn't spend his 2 minutes of screen time sitting in a chair, looking bored, before getting hurled out a window, I'll be happy. He's gonna milk a space cow for 2 minutes and then walk off set. Sign me up. Sorry, they already found a cow. Back off man, I'm a scientist. And that man, he still has no penis. Yes, it's true, this man has no dick. No offense, but I gotta get my own lawyer. Who does your taxes? I am thrilled that Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd will be returning for a reboot. I'm a 66-year-old woman, and when the movie first came out my husband bought the tape to play in our first VCR. What a treat it was for the kids and ourselves. We played it over and over. Well, that's wholesome. Didn't they already say they finished shooting this or something? Yes. It wrapped in mid-September, I believe. It wrapped about 3 weeks ago. Bill, Dan and Sigourney were all seen around town while they were shooting. Dan Aykroyd probably only came back for the potential for tie-in promotion for his Crystal Skull vodka. Wait, they're making a Ghostbusters with men? With Paul Rudd and the kid from Stranger Things, directed by Jason Reitman, Ivan's son. Something I like about Paul Rudd is that he has such a distinct sense of humor, but it's different from that of most of the roles he's had. The Rudd role is my favorite ongoing joke. My headcanon is that the shitty reboot film was instead not a reboot but a direct sequel taking place in a real-time passage of years after the conclusion of Ghostbusters 2. Egon has actually died, and they tastefully mention this in the film somehow, and the Ghostbusters have become a huge megalo-industry with a tight monopoly of ghost busting. After the death of Egon, Venkman has turned into a money-grubbing tycoon who puts profits first. Imagine a single mother who needs a ghost busted but doesn't have buster insurance and can't afford to have the licensed, legal Ghostbusters come do the job. Think black-clad SWAT troopers who come and do an extreme by-the-book busting. So a new team of would-be Ghostbusters pulled together using homebrewed equipment to sort of do underground ghost busting for people who can't afford to pay for the real Ghostbusters, much to mixed media attention and anger by the Ghostbusters Incorporated, which we later gradually learn isn't as bad as we first believed, as their protocols and other methods had original good intentions. Eventually a B-plot line evolves into the second act's main problem. The ticking time bomb that is the Ghostbuster Incorporated's main ghost repository, and how it's about to explode and release all the ghosts, a fact Venkman is kept ignorant of, even as he protests that their machines are foolproof and would never fail. Thanks to the instance of a crooked lead technician who wants to try to commit insurance fraud. Eventually it's solved by the ingenuity and off-the-cuff inventions of the ragtag Ghostbusters, and Venkman undergoes a change of heart and turns Ghostbusters Incorporated into a less profit-driven and more humanitarian aid company. This would be the start of an extended Ghostbusters cinematic universe, with a bunch of other random ideas I came up with. I don't even fucking like Ghostbusters and I can't stop thinking about this and developing it into a fuller concept. Please help me. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed listening, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fun daily content.